This Metaverse production is brought to you today by the Samurai Aquatics and Decor Metaventure. Scan that QR code or click that link in the description and dive yourself headfirst into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server to pleasure your peepers on our current and future range of outdoor decor.
Warning, this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Let's race on to the next segment. We've got how to Upland, optimizing your collections. Now, there's several ways to go about this. Back in my day, there was no such thing as fancy bots and online tools and anything like that. There was no searchable stuff in the app. It was all pen and paper, and it was all about using the Upland UI. Now, I did put this little thing here together. Let's see if it'll show up. There we go. Look at that for a meme. Now, if you're listening on the Spotify, hopefully you'll get a visual soon when we upgrade. But at the moment, we've got a meme generator with the kind of sparkly brain. It says use the Upland UI, and then the brain sparkles up a bit more. It says upxland.me, and then the mind explosion one is uplandoptimizer.com. So we'll just kind of very quickly touch on some of those. So yeah, I mean, using the Upland UI is pretty straightforward. You just got to get in there, see what you got, and kind of, it is essentially a pen and paper situation where you got to work out, what's my biggest property for any particular collection. I usually just go off Up Squared because I don't do much secondary market purchasing. But if you are somebody who's bought your collections on the secondary market, you can't really go off you're better off sticking to Up Squared. You can't really go off the last purchase price because that might skew your data a bit. So that's the old pen and paper method. Now, the other method is using upxland.me, which is, to be honest, that's probably the one I use the most. If I can bring that up. So I've got my account here. Now, how do you do this? Well, you just type in here, user search, put your name in, and should be able to pull up your account. And then for any given collection, I don't know, what was the last city we just had? Porto.
Yeah. I
can just punch in Porto here, and it'll show me if there's any collections. Well, what I do here for all of these new city releases, I'm only really buying 3 properties for the standard collection. So here I can very easily see what are my 3 biggest properties, and I'll patch those into the standard collection. If you have specific collection properties like what's just off the top of my head, Dumbo in what's that? Where's Dumbo? Brooklyn. So if you wanted to find out for a specific collection, you can type in the name of the collection and the same sort of thing. It'll show you all of your properties there. And as you can see here, I've got 4 properties in Dumbo. I know that Dumbo is a 3 property collection. So I just patched the first 3 in.
Wow, look at that mint price.
That was, well, there's a very interesting story about that, actually. Maybe I'll save that for another day. Involving that it had the number 68 in it. But yes, I did mint that one. So yeah, that's how you can use UPxland. I mean, there's probably other ways you can do it, but that's how I do it. I just patch in some basic search information, and it's still kind of a manual pen and paper process. It just kind of helps you out a little bit. But the big one, if you want to get serious about optimizing your collections, and this started by Sturs Merlin back in the day. I used to send him DMs, and Sturs Merlin had a little bot that he ran, and he sent you a text file. But this is Grombridle's one here. Now, this is uplandoptimizer.com. Now, there's a thing here where you have to log in, and you got to do this kind of thing so you can get access to your data. But once it's here, this is super cool. Like, it has all your stuff there. And if you go over here on the Tools tab, if you click on Optimizer, it shows you some basic information here. It tells you your base earnings, like my base earnings are a bit over 1.2 million UPX a month, but the boosted earnings are 1.8 and change. That doesn't tell you a lot of information there, but all of these things here you can click on. So optimize collections. If I click on that, this is after you've run the optimizer, by the way, you have to run it. And then it also spits out a little text file that you can download here. And then this shows you exactly, which are the best properties to fit in every collection. So, Dumbo, Financial District, yada, yada, yada. So that's the big brain way to go about it at the moment. I believe, I always get these confused. What's TML's UPX World? Is that it?
Yes.
UPX World. Yeah.
UPX World.
So I believe they're working on a whole bunch of other data sets. I know YK 2012, he's always sharing crazy graphs and all sorts of stuff that he does. Fandangled data analysis on as well. So that's the way that I do it. So there's 3 options there. And there's at least, like Stirs Melon, there's at least 2 people that I know that run their own private websites, their own bots for this sort of stuff as well. So sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, as the saying goes.